What's the deal, man? It's the boy Dwayne McClain at Dwayne McClain TV. Shiny and greasy up on this TV. One that can see me turn that heat down. Heat all up. You know what I'm saying? Shows that everybody supporting the channel. Mustache getting thick. I look like Hulk Hogan. But today's video is going to be about the outrage of people of ESPN calling future son Russell Wilson's son. Let me tell you guys something. I got an easy solution for this. If you men don't want your kid bonding with another man, call another man daddy, you need to marry that girl. If you don't marry that girl and another man steps in your place, be prepared for the drama. There might be a chance you're gonna call that other man daddy, especially if he spends more time with him. You could come over there and argue. Now, here's how I feel. You shouldn't want, as another man, you shouldn't want another child to call you dad, especially if the dad's still there. Now, my son, he calls another man dad. That man is literally like a dad to my son, except when money's involved. But I know for a fact he loves my son. And I respect him. I respect him for it. He was been in my son's life since he was like 5-6 months. So my son popped out the womb. He moved. When my son was still in my baby mother's stomach, she moved to Georgia. He was born in Georgia. I had to go to Georgia to see him born. All you fathers out there missing your child's birth, you're wrong. Go see your child being birthed. Made it to Georgia, see my child birth, cut the cord. I was there for 2 or 3 days. Went back to North Carolina. Didn't bond with that kid at all. Another man pops up. I didn't want to be with my son's mother. Another man pops up, and he wants to be with her while she has a newborn. I'm not the type of guy to be like that, but some men are. Nothing wrong with it. I'm not about to shun it. They got together. He was in my son. I ain't seen my son again for the time he was born. He was born December 13th. I ain't seen him again till like December 13th, January, February, March. Like March, April-ish. I seen him again. In and out. There for a couple of days, gone. There's another man who there all the time. And this man, even after he broke up with my son's mother, if he wasn't the father of my son's brother, I'd have had an issue with it. I'm like, bro, you just a random, I wouldn't say a random dude, but I'm like, you wanna watch my son, you ain't got no kids, but since he's the father of my son's brother, so now, because he ended up making a baby with her later on down the line, so, yeah, man, but yeah, so when I said, my son with you, you dad, you dad, y'all, and my son said, dad, I wanna call him dad. I'm like, that's cool, man. I ain't got no issue with it. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I ever had an issue with it. I told him this. When some money comes up, you ain't nowhere to be found. You ain't never nowhere to be found when it's time for money. But this is really my kid, so I'm never going to come at him for bread over what's really my responsibility. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like for the dad title, he has done a lot and he still carries up for it. But that's what happens, man. If y'all don't want your kid to be called another man's son, you need to marry that girl and do the right thing. This is what happens, bro. Y'all can do all that fussing and hoop hollering, but if another man gets your child life and he's spending time with the kid, he's seeing the kid, they going on little trips and cruises and they're having fun, and he's actually giving the kids lessons, and the kid has a better relationship with a stranger than you, and it's your responsibility. I'm gonna ask y'all this: out of Russell Wilson in the future, who the child see more? Russell. Who's a better influence on that kid? Russell or Future? Russell. Who the kid probably enjoy being around more? Russell or Future? Russell. Future always probably high on drugs, out with some chick. Like, Russell is the idea. So at the end of the day, yeah, that is technically Future's son, but if Russell married that woman, that's his son. Oh, well, y'all want people to be technical and be like, oh, that's his stepson. That's his stepson. We need to respect Future. Nobody got no respect for Future. Nobody has no respect for him. And if Future really wanted to make a big deal, he needs to come out and say something about that. Everybody else over ESPN got it wrong. That's really Future, baby. Russell Wilson with that kid every day, probably. Doing way more activities with that kid than Future is. When that little kid having a hard time with his homework, it's Russell there doing that. You know what I'm saying? That's now, me personally, I don't do stepdaddy. I don't do stepdaddy. If a girl got kids, I'm not about to be bonding with your kids. I date a girl with kids, but I'm not about to bond with them. They not about to get no bond. It's not about to be, we about to be cool. We about to be best friends. I'm gonna help you with your homework. I love your kids like I love mine. Nope, my kids come before your kids all the time, every day, no matter what. I love my kids way more I'm ever gonna love your kids. I'm never gonna just marry you and be like, oh, well, your kids are my kids. No, only time I ever play stepdaddy is if I meet a chick I like a lot and she got a child and the father's nowhere to be found. I'm talking about he's deceased or he's nowhere to be found. Not locked up, because when he get out, he gonna want to have a bond with his kid. No, nowhere to be found. That's the only way I play stepdaddy. Only way. And I'ma still treat that kid as if you ain't my blood, son. You're not. You're not. But what I'm getting at is, if you fellas want to not be in future situation, you need to be better fathers, better images, and you need to go ahead and marry the girl. You need to go ahead and get married. If you don't want that to happen. If y'all don't want that to happen, you don't marry her, the kid's gonna end up calling another man dad. And sometimes females are spiteful. They will encourage it. Now, my baby mother didn't encourage. I had this conversation with both of them, because I ain't gonna lie, my son called another dude daddy, and I was like, I'm in his life. I was highly upset. It took a lot of maturing to be like, and I talked to my son. He said he wants to call him dad. He's like, yo, I'm looking at him like a dad to me. Like, I love him. I'm like, damn, I'm really over here worried about a title. And I told him, like I said, my only issue with you calling him dad is when the money come up, you're nowhere to be found. You want to share the title, but when the money up, you want to disappear. Every time the money come up, you disappear. That's my only issue with Buddy. But this is my son, my responsibility. So it took a long time for me to accept that, man. I was really like, nah, you can't call no dude dad. I'm your dad. Woody woo. Like, I really didn't like that. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Me and Buddy still cool. My son gonna go see him April. That little boy gone. I'm calling him. Hey, you want your son, Mo? All right. Drop him right down there. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Mo, you want your son? All right. Gone. You know what I mean? But so I got to say on that topic, man. Let me know what y'all think, man. Should ESPN go out their way for Future and be like, well, that's Russell Wilson's stepson. You know what I'm saying? He's not the real biological father. That's Future, baby. Or should the Future just work things out Sierra and he ain't never got to worry about his problem? If he just worked things out Sierra, he would have never had to worry about somebody saying, oh, well, that baby belongs to somebody. That's somebody else's baby. He never got to worry about that. But that's the main thing I want y'all to know about, man. That's all I got to talk about that topic, man. Everybody, y'all be safe. I'm out.